There we go. And right there. Perfect. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Just JP. My name is Justin, and I'm so happy to have you guys here. I don't know. Today we're listening to the band Fairport Convention with their song Matty Grows, which is from their album Liege and Leaf, which was released in 1969. You guys have been mentioning this band for the longest time. This specific song is a request from Aiden S., Bob Holtzman, Lemming998, Rob Gray, Diston, Charlie, so good you had to say it twice, and Matthew Schrader. Thank you guys so much for the recommendation, as well as everyone else, because you guys have been, like I said, talking about this band for such a long time. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to circle back around and to arrive at a destination, but here we are. The train has not been delayed. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the recommendations. Thank you so much for watching the channel and enjoying me looking into bands that maybe don't get as much attention, not only on YouTube and not only in the reaction genre of YouTube, but maybe in general. You guys can join me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the song. Share the video if you enjoy it. It's a simple button. It's like 2 clicks to do it. And let's do it. This is Matty Grows by Fairport Convention. Okay, in talking about this song, this and Pentangle with Cruel Sister, these are like my first exposures to like older folk rock. So I'm going to make a few comparisons, and I apologize because I know some of you don't like that, but it helps me in drawing conclusions. Sometimes drawing comparisons draws conclusions, and it just helps me to kind of explain my points. I'm gonna try not to do it too much because I want to talk about the song on its own. But I'm probably going to mention Pentangle with Cruel Sister because I feel like they had a relatively similar structure and delivery in a lot of elements. But let's talk about the song. Very tight instrumentation throughout this song. Very tight. I love how the fiddle is brought in. I love the guitar. The guitar plays very nicely, especially in the ending. Yes, when it picks up and it has a nice solo section, very long and nice solo section. But really even throughout this song, just very nice down-to-earth riffing. The fiddle is brought in the spacing. A nice way to add nice sparse instrumentation throughout the song, bringing new elements in, just like Pentangle did in Cruel Sister. Bringing those new things throughout the song, because even though the focus of the song is going to be on the story and the singing, at least for the first half before it gets into the instrumental conclusion, there's always little things you can do in the instrumentation behind that's going to make the song interesting to listen to, not only on a first listen, but on repeated listens. And they do a great job of incorporating all of that and making the song fun to listen to, because there's always something slightly different happening in the background. Very strong narrative, very good voice from Sandy Denny. She tells the story very well, and there's a few times as she sings that she changes her delivery just enough to not sound overblown, but to make a point when she's saying something in the story. So long story short, if you follow the story, lady goes to church, husband's not there, sees someone she likes, says, come on with me, come home with me. He says, nah, you're married, I see your rings. She says, he's not getting corn. So they go, one of his, I guess, squires or someone overhears, tells the noble comes, confronts them, and then eventually ends up killing them. Okay, great. not great, but you know what I mean. It's a bad situation.
Saying, how do you like my feather bed? How do you like my sheets? How do you like my lady who lies in your arms asleep? Oh, well, I like your...
Okay, so before we talk about singing, in the background, now the confrontation begins between what was his name? Oh my gosh, what was his name? Lord Donald and little Matty Groves and his wife, Donald's wife, not Matty Groves. And you hear the guitar have a little bit of a stronger riff in the back at that moment, just a very slight and subtle one. The music goes along and follows the theme. Now listen to how the delivery changes when Lord Donald confronts him.
Get up, Lord Donald, cried. Get up as quick as you can. It'll never be said in Fair England, nice to a naked man.
That little bit of pacing, get up, get up, get up. Like, you can imagine Lord Donald not being like a strong, confident angry man, more like a weak, feeble kind of angry man. I mean, obviously he wins in the end because it kills them both, so I guess he couldn't have been that weak. But you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't sound confident. He's like, ugh. Like he's like throwing off his game. He's like, oh, psh, how dare you say that? Get up, get up, get up. You know, not like, get up, you better get up before I knock you out. Not like that, you know what I mean? It's more of like this angry pouting, the way that she delivers it, and you can kind of imagine Lord Donald like that. So, at that point where it says Matty struck the first blow and he hurt Lord Donald's sore, the snare, pop, pop, just a quick double tap. It does that earlier in the song as well, when I think he says, I will strike you the very next blow and I'll kill you if I can. So same thing. It's not major changes. It's not major, instrumental sections blown in to accentuate the points that are told in the story. It's very small things that just enhance the story, make it a little bit better to listen to, not only from a vocal standpoint, but going into the instrumentals of it. Listen to the sassiness Lord Donald's wife has.
What if I am Lord Donald's wife? Lord Donald's not at home, but he's out in the far cornfields.
Yeah, so she says, come on, come home with me, come home with me. He says, no, you're Lord Donald's wife. I see the rings on your finger. She says, psh, so what if I'm his wife? The sassiness that she has in her voice when she does that is nice. So none of this is overblown theatrics. All of this is just nice, subtle ways of bringing these characters to life, bringing the story to life. Now, after the song is ended, we get into this instrumental section. Yeah, so in the last instrumental section, when they speed things up, I like the interplay between the fiddle and the guitar. Really well done. Overall, it's a great song. Now, it kind of follows, as I mentioned, the same structure as Pentangle with Cruel Sister. Now, I'm sure this is not going to be anything new. I'm sure there's many other songs that follow the same structure. It's not anything new. However, they both have a very strong narrative. They both have a relatively repetitive and monotonous musical landscape in which the story builds upon. Both have strong singers. Both bring in new instruments and new sounds to bring to life the story. Now, I liked this song. I didn't love this song. It was fine. I personally liked Pentangle Cruel Sister a little bit more. Not necessarily because of the story, I just preferred the way that it sounded overall. I know that another song that you guys have been mentioning a lot from the same album is Tam Lin. So maybe I'll go to that one next. Maybe I'll just listen to some of the album on my own to kind of, get used to it a little more, acclimate myself to it a little bit more. Because in a sense, all of this is still new, the whole genre. Even though I've listened to a lot of modern and indie folk, I haven't listened to like the classics and where it all came from. So one of the main differences as well is in Matty Grows, the extended instrumental section at halfway through the song after the story is done, that goes on. But in Cruel Sister, the story pretty much goes on and the music ends when the story and the singing ends. I didn't really love the instrumental here. I thought it was okay. It didn't really do anything for me, and I didn't think it was that interesting nor exciting. I would have rather the story continued, the singing from Sandy continue, and I was happy with that. While the instrumentation sounded really nice with her singing and bringing a nice enhancement to the story itself, I didn't feel like it was that strong on its own, at least in the second half, to warrant being its own thing. I don't know why, I find this song a little bit more, for me, more interesting. Now, in conclusion, what I'm going to say is this. I did like the song. It wasn't that I didn't like the song, and it probably sounds like I'm being overly harsh on it. But in line of being honest and in line of, me being truthful with you guys, I didn't love the song. Now, I think it's funny that for Cruel Sister, some had mentioned that it was a little bit monotonous. It went on a little bit too long for what it was. And I actually totally get that. I do get that because I realize that this is a very repetitive sound in Cruel Sister, specifically in that song. If you're kind of done with it at like 4 minutes in, you're kind of done with it like for the rest of the song, I kind of feel like with this song, with Matty Groves, it's kind of the same thing. Now, I liked it, I just didn't love it. This, Cruel Sister Pentangle, I loved. the singing spoke to me a little bit more. The story I thought was a little more interesting. Not that the story was bad, and honestly, that's not even a fair thing to rank it because they're both good stories. Now, I am 100% sure that there are other songs from from Fairport Convention that I will love. You guys have hyped this album up a lot, and I'm sure that if I listened to it, I would enjoy it. So I may save one of the songs like Tamlin for you guys and maybe listen to the rest on my own just to kind of get a feel for it. Maybe I'll listen to a little bit more. Come All Yay, Randerdine, Matty Groves Again, Farewell, Farewell. Anytime that there's something, I will take the time to explore it a little bit. So there was definitely something with Fairport. So I want to explore it. It doesn't matter if I loved a song or not. If I find anything that I find worth it in the song, which I definitely did here, the singing, the narrative, and the instrumentation, I'm very happy and willing to explore it. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought of the song. I want to know what you guys think. Am I crazy? Am I correct? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know some other bands. I know, what's the other band that everyone mentions? Steel Eye Span, or there's another band that you guys always mention that you have mentioned a lot. I know you guys are going to fill me in. Steel Eye Span, that's another one you guys have mentioned. I'm very, very excited to get into these bands. Even if I don't love a song, oh, trust me, listen, I'm going to probably mention this again on a future video. But this channel is more of a music appreciation class than a music criticism class. I'm going to be truthful and tell you if I don't like or do like something, but I'm always coming here to learn, to listen, and tacky as it sounds, to love. You know, I want to listen and love these bands. So this is what this is all about. Let me know what you think of the song. Let me know what you think of everything. You can join me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below. I want to know your thoughts. I'll talk to you later. Bye.